Follow us on our social media platforms as Younib_TV on Instagram, Younib Media TV on Facebook and YouTube, as well as follow my social media platforms as BenThePoet_KE. My name's Ndemo, and right into today's episode of Peacelab. You know what we do, just looking into what are making headlines on the political arena. You know, right, what we always start with. So before I do all that, remember what period we are in. I always urge you, just a few days, just a few hours into election period. Peace is what we preach out there. Peace is what we send you to be ambassadors out there, and that's why we have the Peacelab show. And me as your captain on this show, I'll just wish to urge you that you continue maintaining peace before, during and after elections. And direct into what we have for today, what is making headlines. This week, we saw President Uhuru Kenyatta go to Kisii region, that is to campaign, and also campaign on his presidential candidate, that is Azimio la Umoja One Kenya presidential candidate, Raila Amolo Odinga. So when he was in this region, that is in the Kisii region, President Uhuru Kenyatta lifted the lead of their fallout with his deputy, that is Ruto, and he also claimed that Ruto had befallen and also went against the plans that they had there earlier on for the citizens of Kenya. And he also came out defending himself on the criticisms that came from Ruto and his allies on his presidential term, and also said that he urged the people of the Kisii region to ignore the claims these people had, saying Ruto had just went against what they wanted to plan, and so was just defending himself. That is according to Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. That is just making headlines on our stories this week. And we also saw him go ahead, that is at the Kisii Ministerial Lounge, and he campaigned for the Azimio la Umoja, and that is just a few hours after the exit of the presidential candidate, that is Raila Amolo Odinga, in the region. Remember, he had earlier on been into that region, and as well as when President Kenyatta was also there, that was also to campaign for the same, that is the presidential candidate of the Azimio la Umoja, which is chaired by Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. He also used figurative speeches, saying that his administrative was just like a bus, and as normal, the bus has a driver and a conductor. That is according to Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and said, and I quote, his government being like a bus had a driver and a conductor. So him falling out with his conductor was because of the comments that came from the passengers. I end the quote. And that makes me say, if in this case the passengers he is talking about are the citizens, that's why he is saying all these issues about him falling out with Ruto. And remember, I just said he did open up on the lead and said what maybe had gone wrong with the government, that is his government earlier on, which was elected in the 2017 elections, that is the Jubilee government, which was headed by him, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and deputized by William Samoei Ruto, his deputy. And he did say that wise men change, and I quote, there is a saying that wise men change their mind. Yes, I changed my mind to support my deputy because of so many issues. He was against part of our development agenda. The tires were stolen, seats thrown out, and left with a shell. End of quotes. The head of state, he had said that, and also added that he had achieved a lot in his government, but his opponents were just trying to maybe oppose him and just trying to criticize and change his name just to cover up for their mistakes and all that. So just to to finalize his tour in the Kisii region, he also urged that there be peace in the region, and asked the candidates that were campaigning in the region to maintain peace amongst them, that is the Azimio candidates, because we have many parties in the Azimio coalition, and asked them to also maintain respect amongst each other. It's a win for us. It's a win for Azimio, he said, and that is to his candidates of the Azimio, being he is the chair of the Azimio coalition. And so talk about the issue of the BBI report and asking the people of the Kisii region if not for the people who opposed this, he also added saying maybe if the BBI could have gone through, it could have been to the benefit of the common mwananchi, as he said out there. He had also said that these people had opposed this because of their personal interests. They never wanted this to get into them, because they are trying maybe to get the people to catch the interest of the people by getting to loot funds from the government and doing it indirectly to the people, and that is maybe benefiting the people with handouts. He also had said that if at all the building bridges initiative had gone through, then the handouts issue could have been a story of the past, and also have to empower the common mwananchi, and the stories of the handouts being to get out of the agendas of them. And maybe on the other hand, we also had the issue of Junet Mohammed and Mombasa Governor Hassan Joho. There was a video that was posted in their Twitter account, and which had also brought along a lot of issues. If I can remember, you have seen this video in the course of the week, and UDA secretary had written to the NCIC, the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, to maybe ask the duo to pull down the video. But fortunately, before this was done, the duo had already pulled down the video from their Twitter account, which was also posted in the ODM Twitter handle. And to maybe talk about the clip, I think the clip was about the Uasin Gishu issue, about maybe Ruto talking to the residents of the place and telling them to get the people who are not backing up his bid out of Uasin Gishu. The clip had gone viral, and the National Cohesion and Integration Commission also had written to the Facebook and the social media at large, asking them to filter everything that could go to their platforms, that is on matters hate speech and all that. They had also warned that if the Facebook could not have done that, then they could ban it from Kenya. But talking on the letter was also copied to the Communication Authority, remember. So I remember we had this issue of the commissions also asking the National Cohesion and Integration Commission not to talk about, that is Joe Musheru, the ICT's secretary and cabinet secretary for interior CS, that is Fred Matiang'i. They had dismissed the National Cohesion and Integration Commission's proposal to the government, saying the government could not infringe on the people's right of expression. That is on the issue of the Facebook stuff, and how the Facebook was being used maybe to share hate speech, as they said, that is. And also asked that if at all the hate speech gets into these social media platforms, it was just the responsibility of the users of the social media platforms to avoid maybe using the social media platforms to spread these hate speeches and all that. That is about still the video that had gone viral about Ruto and the Uasin Gishu residents and all that. So you've seen a lot going ahead, and as I said earlier on, we as the Peacelab, what our main agenda is to make sure you as a Kenyan citizen, you as a youth out there, is not used in these times of the election period. We maintain peace. After elections, we have our normal life. We still have to live it. We still have to find food on our tables. We still have to find something to do. But if we are used to fight our brothers, then tomorrow we'll not have home to go back to. Remember, home is not home until it's home. You'll get what I mean. But I still need to get your comments. I still need to get your concerns on our social media platforms, on our comment sections. if you have something burning about what we've been talking about, what we've been discussing about, the two issues I've been discussing about, that is the Uhuru campaigns in Kisii region and the UDA letter to the National Cohesion and Integration Commission concerning the video that had gone viral about Ruto and the Uasin Gishu residents, I please ask you to just send in your comments and concerns, and they all will be responded to. I think we'll be going on a short commercial break, but when we'll be coming back, we'll be getting to hear about other issues, about maybe the leaflets that have been going through in the Rift Valley, and the issue of the ballot papers. We have a lot just locked for you. Just stay here. After the break, I'll be here with the stories. Welcome back. Thank you for keeping it on Younib TV's Peacelab show. And before I went for the break, I was talking about the issue of the NCIC and the issue of the UDA writing to the NCIC about the viral video of Junet Mohammed and Hassan Joho's Twitter handles. And just to reiterate on this, I think in his message at the rally, the DP said that Uasin Gishu County and the larger Rift Valley region was open to accommodating all communities, and no person should feel out of place ahead of this coming week polls. So about the video, just as the internet, we all know what the internet is possible of doing. One can just easily manipulate what you did not say, just manipulate your voice to get to be believed. One can manipulate your image and use it for his or her own personal interest. What I always insist is peace. This is just a video. You don't know how it just came into being. William Ruto is a leader and always understands that anything that comes of his mouth is always on top of every media outlet. So you can't tell me that William Ruto could just go into public saying this and making maybe comments of such sorts, knowing very well we have the NCIC, we have the EACC and all these commissions that could go hunting him on his neck. That makes me say that if at all there is any video, maybe there is any audio, or there is any content that promotes hate speech, that should be taken with high and reasonable mind. That makes me tell you that in one way or the other, we have leaders out here, we have people of personal interests that maybe want to manipulate your mind into getting to maybe war and crime and all this. What we always maintain is peace. What we always pray that we have in our Kenya today is peace. But when this goes through the media, when this goes through the internet, then most probably I call upon you to just summon yourself and ask yourself, what will it help you maybe getting to react on what you're not pretty sure of, what you don't have maybe a solid ground of evidence, if that was that very leader talking about just about the same. I'll just request, we as the Peacelab show on Younib TV always promote peace, and on that issue I just want to say that if at all it was on the internet, then that was just a manipulation, because Ruto is a leader by himself and can't maybe do that. And to finalize on that, we have also the issue of the leaflets in the Rift Valley region, and we have had a lot of leaders come out to talk about the leaflets that have been circulating in the region, and we had a lot of leaders maybe blaming or throwing blames on each other, but so far so good. We had 8 people arrested over the distribution of the leaflets, and the Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i announced that on Monday he chaired a high-level security meeting in Moro, that is in Nakuru County, and he said, I quote, 8 people from the Rift Valley region are in police custody over the leaflets containing incitement messages. We are committed to ensure no chaos is witnessed in this country. And of course, said Matiang'i. I really congratulate Matiang'i for the same, because we want peace. So if at all such things are going on in our world today, then the people that are concerned, the people that are maybe used to do this, they have to get to maybe get to the law. They have to be dealt with accordingly, that is by the law. And he lashed at Deputy William Ruto and his allies over claims that the leaflets were distributed by persons in the office of the president. As I said earlier, we've been having these leaders maybe throwing blames on each other. So CS Dr. Fred Matiang'i has also lashed the Deputy President William Ruto and his allies over the claims that these leaflets were being distributed by one of them accusing, that is Rigathi Gachagua has been accusing Karanja Kibicho of the same, also saying that he is of the interest of the Keroche breweries and wants this down so that he can get into the liquor issue of that. That is according to Rigathi Gachagua. And Fred Matiang'i, that is CS Interior, also said, and I quote, "It is very irresponsible that some leaders have been making reckless statements at this time. None of the suspects we have in custody works in the government." What do I want to tell you? All this that is being said by our leaders out here is just their personal belief. That is their personal maybe point of reasoning. You have an independent mind. You have an independent point of reasoning. You should also reason out and just ask yourself if at all maybe you as a person can just come out to fight your brother just because of politics, just because of a person who wants to get in power. That is what we are against as the Peacelab show. And as I said also about the same issue of the leaflets and all that, if you are planning to, if maybe you have been planning to maybe put out some hate speech, maybe distribute some leaflets that have hate speech and all that, please and please, before you get to the law and maybe get to be dealt with accordingly by the responsible parties, please, I ask you as a youth out there, as the Peacelab, that's what we do. We just want to sensitize you that that is wrong. That is your brother. We all Kenyans. Let's not look at it from the point of I'm a Kisi, I'm a Luo, I'm a Kikuyu, I'm a this. Peace is what we are fighting for. Remember, when you're out there, you don't say you are a Gusi, you say you are a Kenyan. And that's what I want us to think about at this moment that we're heading just a few hours to the election. So please, if you're planning to, if maybe you are in the age of doing that, and maybe you're being paid, remember you're being paid maybe peanuts to do that, and maybe when you get to the government, when you get to the law, that won't be enough to help you out. When you lose your brother, it won't be enough to pay it in for your brother. When you lose a life, remember, 1,000 shillings, 500 shillings cannot replace a life. That cannot replace a life, because we all beautifully and wonderfully made, and elections come and go anyway. So I don't see the issue of us being so bitter about elections because you have a different side, you have a different, maybe you differ ideologically, politically and all that. That is not the case. Elections will come and go. Remember, just after Tuesday, elections are off. These leaders will come and go. We remaining to be brother and sister. Out here, your hustle matters. Your life matters. Your kid tomorrow needs you. Remember that. And to promote peace, that is what we are always saying. And in the course of the week, we had also seen the issue of the ballot papers which just arrived, and IEBC confirmed that that was the last lot of the ballot papers that just arrived in the country. That was on Wednesday. And Wafula Chebukati had also said that we had a total number of 16,100 candidates who are all vying to get to elective seats that are 1,882. 16,100 candidates versus the 1,882 elective seats in the Constitution of Kenya, and in what we have as per now, we have seen all the ballot papers. Remember, about the same issue of the ballot papers, you're going to vote on a Tuesday. Remember to just keep it peaceful. When you take your ballot, before you get out of your house, just remember to say a word of prayer. Just ask God for peace. Number 1, for peace. Number 2, good health. Number 3, remember number 1. That is what I always want you to do. So about the issue of the ballot papers again, maybe because we are here to see about issues political and all that, when you're going to choose your leader, please do this on grounds of what we have for tomorrow, not handouts. We are youths. We are very fond of maybe choosing leaders because of handouts, choosing leaders because of this and that. But I only urge you that you choose a leader based on the manifestos, based on what they have for you in store, and let it be something doable, not just manifestos because we have manifestos written. Something at least you know that it can be done. That is for the better of us all tomorrow. Let's not be talking about the same thing every day, and we know we have a life to live. So if you choose wisely, then you live wisely, and that calls upon you being a youth ambassador, being a peace ambassador out there. Tell a friend to tell a friend. That is what we always say. Tell a friend to tell a friend that peace is what we want. Peace, love, and unity is in our national anthem. You sang that when we were in school several times, every Monday, Friday, sometimes every time when you're in class, you used to sing the national anthem. Peace, love, and unity. Peace, love, and unity. Where is the peace if I don't demonstrate that? Where is the peace if I don't love my brother out there? Where is the peace when I take a handout and go there to maybe carry a panga over my brother, over my sister, just because we differ ideologically, just because a leader or just a person came out and told me to go do that for 1,000 shillings? That is not good, and that is not what we want as the Peacelab show here. Let's vote and let the chosen leader win. Let God choose the leader. We are just on Tuesday there to just do what is the will and the wish of God. So if you go to the polling station on Tuesday, remember number 1 is peace. Number 2, it's unity. Number 3, it's love. Number 4, remember number 1, it's peace. Because we, the Peacelab show. I'm going to a short commercial break. Don't go somewhere. Don't move an inch. I will be right back. See you. Glad you're still with me. Welcome back to the final part of this. So to finish with, the High Court on Wednesday directed the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC) to provide a manual register during the August 9 general elections. Justice Dande Mugure of the Milimani Law Courts in Nairobi said the manual register will complement the electronic voter identification register. So the judge also stated that it was unconstitutional to rely only on the digital directory, as that risks locking out voters whose details can't be retrieved from the digital repository. We have been having the issue of the same, the manual register and the digital register on the day of the elections. We have been having many parties talk about the issue. You know how it's been bringing a lot of chaos out there. Now finally we have all of them, so I think that's what maybe the other parties who wanted, and those of us who maybe wanted peace, we know now everything is sorted. So if at all maybe a voter has does not find his or her name in the digital register, then we obviously have the name in the manual register, if at all you did register as a voter. So this judgment just comes on the back of continued push by the Azimio La Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party to have a manual register incorporated in next Tuesday's polls. And 7 petitioners, including the Kenya Human Rights Commission and Inuka Kenya Nisisi, had sued the IEBC and the Commission's chairperson seeking introduction of a manual register in the upcoming poll. So that is the issue that had been taken to the Milimani Law Courts by the 7 petitioners that included the Kenya Human Rights Commission, KHRC, and the Inuka Kenya Nisisi, and several other parties maybe who had sued the IEBC and other commissions and the IEBC commission chairperson, about the issue of the manual register being in the August 9 polls, that is on Tuesday, just a few hours from today. So that is what we all have been looking up to see a peaceful transition, to see a peaceful election. And we want to see you maybe just use your democratic right, that is to vote. Go choose a leader of your choice. Go choose a leader that is going to maybe bring change to your place, bring change to your way of living and all that. We as the Peacelab show are always on toes to make sure that we preach peace. If at all there is any issue that maybe we discussed on the headlines and on this show that maybe did not get to you well, or maybe differed with you ideologically, we do apologize for the same. But remember, it's a peaceful elections that we pray for. It's a peaceful Kenya that we do pray for. Today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow must be a peaceful, but it won't get to be a peaceful day if you do not take the initiative. This has been the Peacelab show, and I just request, as I said when I was starting, our social media handles: Instagram Younib_TV, Facebook and YouTube Younib Media TV. If at all there is any episode of the Peacelab or any other of our shows that you never maybe or you missed, then catch it on our YouTube. Most probably every show that you missed is on our YouTube. So just get to your phone, just go to your YouTube app and select, just search Younib Media TV. Then you'll get to see every maybe episode that you had missed earlier on, just to catch up with the rest, And you can as well as follow my social media platforms as BenThePoet_KE, and on Twitter alone at Director_Wicklife. It's been wonderful having you today, and thanks for watching. On behalf of everyone who took part in making sure that this show came to you today, I say have a peaceful elections.